Hello, this is Vishal, and we have another tutorial today related to Android. And in Android, today we see the model MVVM, and that's working on your data binding technique. So first step is how to use that data bindings in your projects, and that be done in simple 3 steps that I have to show to you. And let's see what happened. See here, this is our project name DataBind. So first go for your Gradle script, that is your first basic step you have to follow, and here you can say to your binding data binding enabled true. Okay, and you can do it also with that data binding dot enabled is equals to true, depends on the choice. So this is your, then we have to sync this binding, uh, whatever we write on this Gradle. So can Gradle check, yeah, it's compatible with that your versions, yeah, and it's running. If it is okay, that no error, yeah, that's fine. Now we have to come on the simple Pozo class. We have to create a simple class that's be your student, your user, any kind of choice. You have to make a beans like that. So if I am making a student class here, so this is my student class, and here I have to initialize the variable as in a public. Why public? Because of we have to access them on your XML, so need to put it as in a public variable. So we have to put the first name comma last name, that's in easy, and this is our public student. We have to pass these parameters as in a first name and a string last name, and here we have to follow this dot first name as in a first name, and this dot last name as in last name. That's simple. If you want to go for the more like in your getter setters, you can follow that rules, but I am just talking about very simple steps, 3 steps we have to follow, in which the first step you have to put just the data binding, and it's in a beginner level how they bind the data, because of somebody confused, there will be the error and issues, why these issues arises, because of I've already seen in your stack flows, so a lot of confusion with the peoples how we can use the MVVM. So the first step is how you can the data bind, then go for that MVVM model. So that's we go for on another tutorials. I will show to you how we can approach that AVVM. Sorry, it's again sync. Okay, so this is your app, and this is your student Pozo class, and now I have to access this student first name and the last name. I have to bind this data on your activity main. So we need a two text view for this. First is your first name and the second is for your, so I don't want to with this constant layout. I have to go for the linear one. So this is my linear layout, and then here simple linear layout, and what I have to do, I have to change the orientation as in a vertical. And now the most important basic thing is I have to set the variable by which we can access that bindable values from the Pozo class. So how we can achieve that? We have a layout tag that is the most important in your Android. Okay, and what to do for that layout? First, this layout tag be and on your, that means the first and the last one, that is your final layout. Under that your layouts working. Okay, and here the most important thing, you have to put this tools and blah blah blah, these things be on your here, and I don't want to go with these constraints, so I have to leave them, I have to delete them. So very simple. Okay, and also be yeah, I have to change the layout gravity, that's be your center, and I have to give the margin. That be your 50 dp on the top. The same thing, this is your top, and what you have to do, just simple layout gravity be on center. If you want to change the background color, so you can go for that. Your background color, we take it in a simple accent and change the designs. Yeah, that's good. And if you want to be your text color be color primary, and the same thing be your color primary. So this is our layout be completed. Yeah, so how to work with that? This under layout we have a data. This data tag, the most important thing I have to show to you, that's, and this is your variable, and this variable be the name and the type. So what's the variable name be? It's your student, and what is that the type? Top example shall combo, and that's your data bind, and it's your student. And when we access these variables, you can see them here. Likewise on your text, we have to bind them. So you can say there's at the rate, this is your curly bracket, and you can see your student dot first name. Okay, and if you go for the other tags, it's your at the rate curly's student dot last name. So I bind both the things be here. This is your first name, this is your last name. That's it, no? Simple, in a simple steps. Okay, now the third is the most important step. The first step be your app data binding enable. Second step is your activity main, how we can bind the data under the layout using the variable, and the third important step is how we can pass the data on your poser class. So this is your private activity main binding. So what is that exactly? This is activity main binding, always be the binding. It automatically create your data bind class, and by which we can access the things. And this name is activity main binding is based on your XML base data binding. That means if it is activity main, so it should be your activity main binding, and if it is a second main, so it's your second main binding. If it is your third main, so that is your third main binding. So that's an important step we have to follow. Okay, and do not need of this to work on that. So simply activity binding is your data binding util dot set content view. We have to set the content view, and this is our content view. So this, and we have to pass the value here. Okay, so the simple steps. Now how we can pass the data to our student class? That's your student, new student, and you have to pass your first name, that's your John Sena, and that's be activity main binding dot set students. Automatically it be the set student be here, and then you can pass it student. So this is your third step. So this is your complete data binding be processed in these three steps. Now run this app, and you can see the result of that data binding on your screen if all things be fine. Now the Gradle build be running, and let's see what happened. It's taking a little time, as you know. This is Android. Yeah, now indexing, installing APK, but Genymotion is much faster than the other emulators. Now it's launching the activity. Yeah, that's your John Cena on this screen. So this is our first step to how to bind the data on this. You can apply the events also, but you will see on my other tutorials in which we have to work on your MVVM. So that's been very easy. Thanks a lot. So we'll meet you on the other video. Thank you so much.